Did you think after 100 episodes I was just going to pack this thing up and never come back? Oh no, it's time for 101.
SIRTOBA Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome. The wait is over.
Let's get this thing started.
Welcome, one and all across the nation and around the world. I welcome you all to a brand new live episode of the In or Out Sports Debate. I am your host, Drew Willingham, and this week we are back with the fire with an all-new, all-pro wrestling edition of the In or Out Sports Debate. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, introducing a man whose pro wrestling championship collection would humble any collector out here in these streets. A man who has one epic podcast known as Championship Culture that runs live weekly on the Wrestling Wrealm that not only entertains you, it educates you on the history of championship belts within pro wrestling. A man with a well-rounded background in education, earning a master's in business administration from Strayer University and a bachelor's of science in communication from Bowie State University. A legend, a growing legend out here in these streets, simply known as the Guy. Give it up for Brandon Guy, my man. Welcome to the show.
Whoa, wow. Thank you for that intro. I didn't know you must have been on one of my pages or something and found some history on me. So I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. It's a pleasure to be on the show. You know, the last member of the wrestling round to make an appearance. And why not on the 101 episode? What an honor it is.
Hey, I appreciate your time, brother. We're definitely going to have one great episode tonight. This is an all-pro wrestling edition. Definitely look forward to getting it started. But as always, before we get it started, we have to acknowledge those who've come before in the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
Man, you took me back. This is why this show was so important, and this is why I am personally validating and vouching for this show. If you are anybody in media, sports, professional wrestling, anything, you need to be on In or Out Sports Debate with my man Drew Willingham, because this has got to be one of the most fun things I've ever done in a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the In or Out Sports Debate Vault of Fame, which you can find here on the audio platforms listed here on Amazon Prime, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor.fm. You can also download it individually on iTunes. You can find SIRTOBA Media, where the struggle is real, to be mother, father, and awesome, here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And as always, the latest at SIRTOBA.com. We are here for episode 101 with the guy, Brandon Guy, as we've got 5 great topics for you tonight. Brought to you by
SIRTOBA Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Grab some mother, father, and lootly as we are ready to do this.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Round one.
And here, Brandon, with round one, the man with that look on his face, minus the rockin' mustache that he has nowadays. WWE made the right decision by moving Smackdown back to USA Network beginning in 2024. How do you feel about this one, my man? Do you agree with this? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I'm in on this one. So the main reason I'm in is because I feel like since it moved to Fox, it seemed like it was always second fiddle to a actual sports team or sports something. So we always like find the SmackDown. If you didn't have FS1, you couldn't watch SmackDown. You had to wait for the replay. So I think this move to put it back on cable, because remember the roots of SmackDown was grounded in another show for a competition for a company that wasn't around anymore, but it was on a regular network that anybody could get. Then when it jumped from UPN changed the name and now morphed to CW, then it went to USA Network. Yes, if you didn't have basic cable, you couldn't watch it. But because now we're going back to a cable channel and for all the streaming channels, USA is one of those channels that you could get at any time. So I think it's going to be a great thing. Regardless if it's on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, you're going to be able to find your SmackDown. Not, oh, man, it's on FS1. Or, oh, where's it this week? Or let me cut it off because a football game is playing, or the NBA Finals. Whatever was going on, it always took away from your wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan and you don't have FS1, you might have missed some key points on SmackDown.
No, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you on this one. I'm in as well. All right, people.
Let me talk to you.
When it comes to this right here, moving this back not only gives the opportunity to bring it back home to USA Network, but it also gives you the more opportunities within that rights deal to have more shows on NBC. As far as 4 primetime events you get from having SmackDown move to USA as part of this deal. So 4 times a year, we're going to get 4 primetime events from WWE that will showcase very talented shows on NBC. So I do definitely agree with Brandon when it comes to this deal right here being great for SmackDown moving to USA. They got one deal done. Now it's only a matter of time before if they get Raw taken care of and where that lands. Will that stay with USA Network? There's been talks about that potentially moving to a different day in a different time zone as well. So could that potentially move to Wednesday and go head-to-head with Dynamite? There's been some rumblings in the dark about that. I don't know if you heard about that, Brandon, but there has been some rumblings in the dark about potentially what we've seen for 30 years, over 30 years now, Monday Night Raw, the potential of that moving to a different day and being called Wednesday Night Raw, or even potentially a name change altogether. How are you going to change history like that? I don't agree with that, but I do agree with
the name change. I can kind of see the move because, football does hurt the ratings, quote unquote. And we know what it is because, wrestling fans pick from different industry. You got sports fans that are wrestling fans, comic book fans that are wrestling fans. We merge so many different things together. So, your loyalty, look what they did with the belts recently. Ironically, I'm going to talk about the belts. Those belts were selling faster than any other belt on WWE shop because they were integrated with sports teams. So if your competition is on Monday, maybe you might want to go to where you can, mash out some competition on Wednesday. But I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to let that be. Let that marinate for a little bit.
That is a good one to let marinate. We'll have to see how the cookie crumbles on that one. But I like how things started out here with round one. Let's go ahead and take this into round 2 and see what's in store for that one.
Round 2.
And here with round 2, CM Punk's pro wrestling career is over. Brandon, how do you feel about this one? Do you agree with the statement? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I'm in on this one. Honestly, even though personal feelings aside with CM Punk, I will have to say I think this last time showed, one, he's good for business, but two, he's very bad for business too. All publicity isn't good publicity, and all people talking about you doesn't always mean a positive light, and it don't really translate to ratings because at the end of the day, his initial run when he came back was popping ratings, and they were saying like it was just like, if it's not in Chicago, it didn't matter. So I'm in. I think it's over for him.
Before I give my take, I want to acknowledge the comments out here, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Big Teddy Bear, 11,000 or 1,100. My apologies. Hi, Drew. Hi, Brandon. Guy. Well, thank you for tuning
What's
in.
going on?
We appreciate you having you here in the comments, as well as the Wrestling Realm. Thank you guys for tuning in, supporting love, showing love for Brandon here for being on the show, but also for myself. I appreciate you guys here on the All Pro Wrestling edition of the In or Out Sports Debate. Thank you guys. So, but now that we've gotten that out the way, it's time for me to say that I'm agreeing. I'm in it. CM Punk, you are a very talented individual. Yes, you are. Yes, you mother, father, and are. However, when it comes to backstage politics, when it comes to kind of being a human being to others, treating others with respect, it seems like you suck. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to flat out say it straight up. Like, that's what the message is coming across. And you think that WWE, after cutting ties with you back in the day for the similar situations that are happening now in AEW, except for you should be older and wiser to not let this stuff happen. Apparently, you didn't learn the lesson the first time. So now we're in this mother-fathering situation of you being unemployed again. Are you going to go back to UFC and get your ass kicked? I don't think so, because you learned your lesson the last time when you got mollywopped on your debut, and then the next time you went out there to definitely embarrass yourself. All you had was your name going in there. You didn't even go as Phil Brooks. You went as CM Punk, and you got punked in the UFC, just like you kind of got punked on the way out of AEW. I cannot agree anymore with my guy, Brandon Guy, right here, as we both feel like CM Punk's career is definitely over. So, and
I'm going to add this. He tried a lot of things in between his wrestling career, didn't really pan out, and I know Brother Dwayne Allen appreciate this. That run he had in them comic books he was writing really didn't do well. And a lot of fans may not know this. He wrote a comic book about Drax, who was played by Batista in the MCU. But that's all I'm going to say about that. He did some other things, too. and of course, I was waiting for you to chime in. But I was trying to say, but he tried. Yeah, he's a good talker, but I think it's over for him. I think this might have been maybe in 5 years or so when everything's calmed down. Oh, welcome back. Here's your Hall of Fame. Now go sit down. But of course.
You know what? I give an open challenge to old Phil. If you ever see this show right here and see what I'm talking about, I challenge you on the podcast to see who's better at the mic, because I can go toe-to-toe with anybody. Come out here, see him gump, as Hugh Scott calls you, because I will gump you down out here in these streets and show you who the gump is when it comes to the mic. Challenge. Hopefully you accept it. I'm going to share this short on all different platforms, tag you in it, CM Gump, and put CM Gump in a hashtag and let that grow. Let's grow CM Gump.
The man of the promos.
Dante Hill. Okay. I tried, man. I tried. What up, guys? It says Dante Hill, my man, out here in the streets. Thank you very much for showing up. Dwayne Allen Multimedia is definitely here too. Thank you, my man, for coming on in. Always, all day, every day. That's how you got to survive out here in these streets. It is wild. You got to find something to kind of humor yourself, get you through. And that's what I'm trying to do for the people out here on these shows. The guy, yes, sir, the guy. And you know what? Even though D. Willie in the evening is 2 days away from here, I'll give you and I don't have that on this episode coming up. It's not in the store for that, but maybe I'll bring it back next week. But I gave it to you tonight, so you can't say that I went a week without it. The streak continues there from Brother Hugh getting it out of me. The struggle is real to be awesome. And since he says it, we'll bring it on up.
SIRTOBA Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
I even left his comment there because that was cooler than even my logo in that moment. Thank you guys
Yes, sir.
for
There's
the
realness
comments.
for you.
We appreciate you for being here. And yes, sir, all day, every day. Got to show love out there in the streets. We've gone through 2 rounds so far, Brandon. We got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll see you guys back here in about 90 seconds.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Monday at 3:05 p.m. Eastern, 2:05 p.m. Central. Exclusively on the SIRTOBA Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers? Right side. Commanders. Where my soldiers? Left side.
SIRTOBA Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the In or Out Sports Debate. We have now gone through 2 great rounds. And before we go to round 3, I've got some breaking motherfather news. And that breaking news is this. Next Tuesday, we come back with episode 102 at 9:05 p.m. Eastern, a trios edition. Kyle Nash and Joey Raymond, 2 of the tops, appear on the leaderboard. Come on back for episode 102. And with that being said, we're going to take this into a round 3.
Round 3.
And here, Brandon, with round 3, when it comes to continuing on with the pro wrestling episode, Top Dolla AJ Francis should follow Booker T's advice and become a YouTube rapper. How do you feel about this one right here? Do you agree with the statement at hand? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I'm definitely in on this one. So Top Dolla is I think beyond wrestling when it comes to rapping. He needs to either focus on that because his wrestling, it needed something else. It really didn't connect well with fans. In the ring, it really didn't feel like it connected. But his rapping, he's at the point that's like he's clearly genius. He's clearly knows that's his niche. I think if he followed that and then maybe did the wrestling on the side, maybe do some indie shows here and there to kind of like get that over, almost kind of be like an unofficial member of the Acclaim type of deal. But I feel like his rapping is night and day comparison to his wrestling. Not to say his wrestling is bad, it just didn't connect. But the rapping connects. All his diss track, anything trying to get himself over, anything on Twitter. If you follow him on TikTok, it's definitely entertaining and it's worth a listen. But the wrestling, you could use his, not being disrespectful, you could use his matches as a bathroom break. I'm just saying. But his rapping, he makes you pay attention to that.
You know, Brandon, when it comes to this show right here, and you can ask your partners over at the Wrestling Realm about the shenanigans that take place, and it is time that I disagree with you. I am out. All right, people, it is time.
Let me talk to you.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the end of this, I'm going to say this.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
'Cause it's time to disagree. You kind of alluded just a little bit of where my thoughts are with this, but it's time to get away from the WWE umbrella, endeavor, whatever the father you want to call it. When you think about this situation right here, yeah, you can go on YouTube. You can have a more limited schedule if you go to AEW and go join the Acclaimed. Go join the Acclaimed and help them out because they need some help on YouTube too. You guys could get together and not only do it in the ring and be trios champions. Because look at Billy Gunn. It's time for him to hang up the boots for real. He hung up the boots, then got back in them. What kind of sense does that make? Retire Billy Gunn, come up in there, AJ Francisco is your real name, because you've got the background as a football player for my former team, the formerly known as the RED-SKINS. He was a football player at one time. He could showcase that talent in AEW with a limited schedule, be more of a YouTube rapper, and help out the Acclaim because they need help on YouTube together. It's all about helping each other out here in these streets, and that's why I am out on this one right here, my man.
All right. So I kind of hinted at it, right? That's the only place, if he was to say wrestling, I would say that's where he would probably fit in the fastest and fit in the most logical sense. Now, kicking Billy Gunn out, maybe not, because, I'm kind of still, let's be honest, he hung up the boots and put them back on. That's how retirement works in wrestling nowadays. You don't retire for 1 minute, a year, 2 years, 10 years, but then you got to come back. So Billy Gunn, I think it was just that storyline. I don't want to see him step away just yet, but a little different.
I mean, he could be their manager and still Top Dollar could come in and be part of the trios, and they could be trios champions or part of the Freebird rule, and everybody rotate in and out. So there you go. Pardon the pun. So there it is. With that being said, let's go ahead and see what couple comments we got right here. Dwayne Allen, are you on Facebook? Says Big Teddy Bear. Well, you guys go ahead and figure that out there in the comments, and we'll see what's up with whatever you guys figure out there in the comments. With that being said, we've got another great round or two ahead of us. We're going to take it into round 4 and see what we got in store for you guys.
Round 4.
And here with round 4, when it comes to this one, this is a very interesting one that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and it's definitely getting hyped up out here in these streets. Edge should join AEW after his run with WWE to have one final act with Christian Cage. How do you feel about this one, Brandon? Do you agree with the statement at hand? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I'm out. When you think about Edge and Christian, or you think about any wrestlers nowadays, feels like the goal is to get to WWE. They've done that. Christian has made a singles career, a legendary singles career outside of the WWE, to the point that if he doesn't finish it with his legendary career partner Edge in WWE, it won't have the same effect. They need to be 2-time Hall of Famers at the end of the day within WWE, and Christian could always have the WWE the Hall of Fame of Impact in the background, but they need to be 2-time Hall of Famers, once as Edge and Christian, once as Edge, and then once as Christian, so that way they can be 2-time Hall of Famers in WWE. Now, does that come this year, next year? If Edge wants to sit at home for a year, they come back as a tag team, maybe do one more run, then they finish it off, go into the Hall of Fame, or do like they do now. Hall of Famers work an active schedule. So I'm going to say, nah, not finish the AEW. Finish the story in WWE.
Before I give my take, I want to ask you a question because I don't know the answer to this one. I didn't actually think about it until right now. And if you guys can help us out here in the comments, I'm going to ask it right now to Brandon and let us know the answer if he doesn't know it. Do you know when Christian Cage's contract expires with AEW?
I think he's one of the 2024 people.
Okay.
I really think he's part of that group of people that the 2024 contracts, because it was that group. Some are supposed to expire this year and they got extended, but Christian may have some time added, so he might be mid 2024. But don't quote me on that, because I think because of his injury, how they like to tag the time on. But he can come back in time for SummerSlam. They can have a SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, the WrestleMania run. I'm just saying, if he lets his contract just leave and then leave on a Friday, come back on a Monday.
Let's see what the comments say. This needs to be done only in WWE. I agree with that. Joey Raymond in the house says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, my man? Thank you for tuning in right here." Spry mean. Okay, well, you guys can figure that out. Other than that, you guys, when it comes to this situation right here, when it comes to this one, I have to agree with Brandon on this one. I am out on this as well. All right, now the better storytelling definitely happens on the bigger stage. And WWE has definitely been known to do great when it comes to the send-off stories for the legends. Not always for like the mid-card acts or anybody else that are out there, because you see them more, you see them more celebrate the higher card acts. And Edge and Christian as a tag team were definitely part of that. Now, will they have a final run kind of like Matt and Jeff Hardy did when they came back and they won the tag team championships early on? I don't think so. It just depends on what kind of shape Christian's in, because when you see that his run in AEW, Luchasaurus won the TNT championship, but they're putting it on the shoulders of Christian. So you could definitely see Edge as a short-term tag team champion, kind of like what they did with Lita and Becky Lynch around WrestleMania or whatnot. You could kind of see something like that, a short term like that. But at the same time, we have to see what kind of stability Christian has within the ring. And he hasn't displayed that within his time in AEW. They've definitely been smart with working around his inabilities to do certain things in the ring because of his age and how much, he's taken over the years as far as the beatdowns in the ring and all the bumps and everything. So when I think about this one right here, I have to agree with Brandon. I'm definitely out on this one.
But Christian is currently the TNT champion. He won that triple threat match at Collision.
I still don't count it. Look at how he was given the championship when Luchasaurus smacked it all, came in, took it, and then just hands it on over to him. I thought at first he was just going to hold it kind of like Paul Heyman did. But no, he is definitely taking ownership of being the champ when he doesn't deserve it. And yeah, he might have won a triple threat match, but good job. You defended it once, but you don't earn it any other time, or even how you receive it. There's no free bird rule with the TNT. It's only with tag team championships.
He definitely held it like it was his title when Luchasaurus was the champ.
It's like, yeah, but it's like entitlement at its finest. I'm going to be your representative, but what yours is mine, and what's mine is just mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel when I watch Christian Cage in AEW. So will that mesh well with Edge and knowing that Christian has been this little spoiled brat AEW going back, for those who are paying attention to it and going back to WWE? I don't know, because then we could just see Christian take that same momentum and turn on Edge at some point, and nobody wants to see that after he bounced back from the Judgment Day and has been a face.
I think you just made a point.
So
remember, when you come to WWE, you can revert back to any character they want you to be.
Very true. And Brother Hugh comes back March of 2024. So you were spot on with that very early on in March 2024. Now, I'm not too sure about this because I can't recall. When it comes to AEW contracts, are they similar to WWE where there's a 90-day no-compete clause when the contract expires, or we have to wait until June, July time, like close to SummerSlam, to get that potential reunion? And
remember, if it expires, they could just go to work next time. Remember, that's how Cody, they only held off on Mania with him. But remember, Cody signed his, and he was like, I'm working without a contract, but he did that on a handshake deal. And look at our latest signing that WWE has now. She basically did her last match and said, "Oh, I'm going." It's no because remember Tony Khan said he was going to try to let contracts. He wasn't going to fire anybody, but your contract runs out. He just don't answer the phone and don't tell you anything. You just know that you release. You don't have a new contract.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how they do business, and it's not paying dividends, on all accounts. So, but thank you, Brother Hugh, for that info right there when it comes to the contract. We're going to go ahead and take this into one last commercial break. See you back here in about 2 minutes.
Football, and more football, you say? Well, tune in to Total Football Talk. Join your hosts, Drew Willingham.
You were playing like a dumpster Pelican quarterback.
And Cole Johnson.
It sets up a possible play action. Did you hear that, Dak Prescott?
As they take you through all the paces, both on the field and in the boardroom, of Total Football Talk. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Exclusively on the SIRTOBA Media and the Comey Media Incorporated YouTube channel. If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 101 of the In or Out Sports Debate. I am back with Brandon, Guy of the Wrestling Realm, as we have gone through 4 great rounds so far on this show. It's time to start wrapping things up, take it into the final round.
Final round.
And here in the final round, The Rock will team up with John Cena at Fastlane to take on the Bloodline. How do you feel about this one, Brandon? Do you agree with the statement? Are you in or are you out on this one?
I'm out. So for all the people that might think that I'm being a little bit too harsh on this, I'm going to stick fast on my stance that I made on the Wrestling Room Now podcast. I think The Rock coming back right now is too late. And I'm not doubting and I'm not taking away from sellout of Monday Night Raw was probably because The Rock returned. If I knew that The Rock returned to Pennsylvania and the next show was here in Baltimore, I'm definitely going to be in that arena hoping that The Rock is going to be there to be able to see that legend, that icon. I want to be able to see it live because it's been so long since I've seen him. But him and John Cena, okay, whether it's the writer's strike or not, that they're able to come back, thank you. Give that nostalgia boost. But did we need them at this time when there are so many other potential things to do? And I really don't want to see Solo and Jimmy and Jay just split up from a tag team. Now you're going to put them with Solo in a tag team match. I don't even want to see it against LA Knight. I'd rather be some singles matches, maybe not have The Rock until Mania unless The Rock is going to come stare down Roman. If that's what we're getting to, fine. But right now, I don't want to see it. I'm all out on this one. All puns intended.
Okay. Well, you know, when it comes to this, and I want to agree with you, but for the sake of this show, I have to at the final round. I have to disagree with you. I'm in. All right. Now, when I think about this, first of all, I have to do this one last time.
Let me talk to you.
Did you think I was going to agree with everything that Brandon said on this show?
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, to the no.
If you did, you should.
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
Even Chris Jericho would get amped up right now and say,
would you please shut the hell up?
And if for some reason you just can't.
Stop it. Get some help.
Absolutely, because look at this situation right here. When it comes to The Rock, when it comes to John Cena, when it comes to this match, how do we not know that The Rock doesn't agree after all that love when The Rock was just recently on Smackdown, goes to Fastlane, they tag up, and then all of a sudden, during the match, he turns his back on John Cena to be with the Bloodline and to support the growth of the Bloodline, which elevates another chapter into the Bloodline where you have The Rock as the supporter of the Bloodline from afar as he does something to help them out before he goes back to Hollywood, because you alluded with the writer's strike that, of course, he's going to be going back to work in Hollywood very soon. He's going to be a very busy person. But of course, some things can be scheduled behind the scenes. You got WrestleMania 40 coming up. Last year, they were supposed to do something, but it slipped through the cracks because of, this is how things go. So they could make up for it here with WrestleMania 40. This could be the start of something for WrestleMania 40. For that, we don't know yet, but it could start right here with him turning his back on John Cena. But we get The Rock versus John Cena 3 as they are old and pushing towards senior citizen status. I don't know, but it could potentially happen. I don't know, Brandon, what are your thoughts?
So first thing, remember when the whole thought of Rock versus Roman, and it was like, oh, The Rock's not in shape. Oh, I'm not in shape. And even Roman Reigns time, it was like, it's a different shape than in-ring shape versus, just looking like you got chiseled like The Rock does. I'm going to say Black Adam shape. But now magically he's back in here. It's talks to him getting in the ring, but I thought he was out of shape. And now all of a sudden he's been working. We haven't seen anything leak, which takes me to my point. I think the reason Jade Cargill information got out because WWE wants to control the narrative, not have people take pictures, show at the performance center, or leave it in and out. But all that to say, when it comes to The Rock, yes, always going to be welcome in WWE. I think that he'll always be a great asset. He'll be the shot in the arm that we need. A bigger draw at this moment than Cena because we've had Cena for the last 2 or 3 years keep coming back. He's almost at edge status when he comes back. Oh, it's Cena. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But with The Rock and the whole potential of the Bloodline, which I think is without Roman, we don't even need it. If you can't get us Roman, and it's been a month now, I feel like it's just churning its wheels. And I'm going to keep saying it. I ain't eating steak right now. I didn't eat a chicken cheese steak from the corner store at this point because you're not giving me nothing of substance except for a Jimmy. So if The Rock going to rejuvenate that until Roman is back, have at it. But other than that, I don't think that this storyline needs The Rock. Does WWE need Rock right now? Maybe, maybe not. We were on the right trajectory. Everything was good. What we need is for he who names shall not remain. Just let us have the nice things. Just let us have our NXT and our Monday Night Raw and SmackDown with Triple H. It's okay. It was doing fine. Let us have that. So this is very much the Vince McMahon stink of get The Rock in there. Pop some ratings, which he did. Great. He sold out Monday Night Raw. Even though he wasn't there, I really think he's the reason that Monday Night Raw sold out.
Well, Vinnie Mac could always make room for The Rock by doing this to certain individuals like he had.
Yeah!
Followed by...
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
He could. He could.
Well, he did just cut about probably $2 million worth of payroll.
He did.
That might have been enough to pay for Rock come to SmackDown last week.
He did. And going circling back to you talk about The Rock being in shape. Once he fully feels like he is, he's going to do that.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
On top of...
You can't handle the truth.
And there's nobody out there that can't say that he will fall in line and maybe do this.
Acknowledge me.
Ah!
To the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, no, to the no, no. What?
He did put over Cena. He put over Cena, remember? I mean, now that you say that, that's something I didn't think about. He could be acknowledging Roman.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then
gave me something to think about.
Steve's sitting back saying,
what?
Followed by drinking a few Steve Weisers and saying,
what?
And then doing that just one more time for the hell of it.
What?
Followed by Sammy getting upset.
Say what again? Say what again?
Absolutely, because when it comes to how things work out here in Storyland at WWE, anything's possible, and that's why we had to go head-to-head on the In or Out Sports Debate tonight with 5 great rounds, and I couldn't just agree with my man on everything, even though he brings great, solid points to everything. I can't disagree with him on everything, but at the same time, I can't agree. We have to agree to disagree on certain things, and now we have now completed the 5 rounds of this show. And with that being said, we do have to acknowledge Brandon's entry now into the Vault of Fame.
Acknowledge me.
That's right. The Inner Out Sports Debate Vault of Fame now welcomes Brandon Gaius. He is now locked in the vault for the first time with episode 101 to join the others on this leaderboard right here, as we have now gone through 101 episodes, which you can find here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube when it comes to this show right here. And if you want to throw a little action to the Cash App, what some call Willie Bucks, donate to DWillie87 right here on the Cash App for the promotional show right here. For the Inner Out Sports Debates episode 101, we've only got 2 more things left to do, and we have to acknowledge the final word, where we have one last shot to acknowledge some things on this show. And here, Brandon, with the final word out of everything that we discussed on this show, no matter something on that we've already discussed or something in news, wrestling, sports, or anything that you would like to cover. I know you brought up Jade Cargill. If you want to touch up on that, the floor is yours now with the final word.
First, before I even give a final word, I got to thank you, brother, for having me on the show and making an all sports and all wrestling show on your In and Out Sportcast. So I appreciate that first. And second, I think that because I'm going to say Jade Cargill, that's the thing I want to talk about. Because she was announced, WWE is going to control this narrative, and they're going to give us something probably big, if not bigger than what Cody did. It's going to be just as big, and it's going to be definitely, as Triple H said, changing the game. I think it's going to shake WWE Foundation because of the presentation and the machine behind Jade, and she sounds like she's ready to try something different. I think that, we're going to be all right with WWE. As long as he who names shall not remain lets us have our nice things. Don't just be like, oh, what did she used to do? Oh, yeah, put her in there. She's a basketball player. Let's let her play basketball. Let us have the nice things. Let us just have it. It's okay.
Yeah, come on, VKM. Let us have it. Let us have it. But for mine, I'm going to have a 2-part final word. First of all, because it's been a minute, I want to acknowledge the comments from the fans, because it's been a minute since we have done that. And we've had quite a bit of comments I need to go through here. You guys have been lighting it up. Thank you all for bringing in the comments. First of all, we got Ryan McCarthy in the house, Drew and Brandon. Welcome, my man, to the Inner Out Sports Debate. Ryan is also a one-time Vault of Fame inductee. I'm going to have to definitely bring you guys back, because definitely had some fire here with Brandon. And I love talking wrestling. It's been a while since I had my Inner Out Sports Debate show, which I need to bring that back too. But right now, I have so many mother, father, and projects. It's hard to find time for it. I had to find time just to carve this back in. And this is my baby. This is what started it off. This is 101 episodes, the most I've ever done of any show. My baby is back every week on Tuesdays, and you can find it here on SIRTOBA Media. Promo, there you go, and we're not done yet. As all puns intended, laugh out loud. Absolutely, my man. Definitely.
When I said I'm all out.
Yeah. Brother Hugh with the laughing right there. Definitely, as we have had some great times here on 101. Would you watch a Legends of Wrestling reality show? It's an interesting position that many wrestlers have the brand, but few of them cross over like The Rock and find themselves going back to WWE. Brandon, you know what? Let's do it in or out on this one. Are you in or are you out on Dante's statement right here?
I'm in on that statement.
You know what?
And I'm only in as long as it's not a scripted reality show, and it's more of a reality, like what happens post wrestling. And I want to say like a Dark Side of the Ring type thing. I think we need a little bit more lighthearted, but just a reality show to show us what they do, because they do have lives outside of there and other things that they do post wrestling.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that too. I'm in on that. Brandon laid that out beautifully. The biggest thing I just want to say, Dante, thank you for that comment right there. That was a great one. I love doing that when the fans throw in, different things, and we get to acknowledge them at some points in the show that kind of correlate with what we're talking about, but give them a chance to have it in or out of themselves. So that was definitely a good one there, Dante. And, we got Mickey Delaney definitely saying what's up to everybody in the house. Brother Drew is the greatest. Well, thank you, Hugh. I appreciate that. I do my best to showcase everyone out here in these streets because we all have talents, right? And yes, I may be one of the promo legends of what people are telling me. I'm not trying to get too big of a head and too big a pop in my collar, but people say it. But I'm just trying to share the platform with others. It's all about helping each other out here in these streets, helping each other grow. And especially when you guys and when we have similar things in common, we can talk about here on these shows right here. Would you say that this storyline is a little rocky? I'll just leave.
I love it. I love it. That's the perfect way to say it. This story is a little rocky. I like it.
Yep. There you go. That's a great way to sum up that final round. You definitely were kicking on in there, Ryan McCarthy. And it looks like we got Mick, who I call Mick the comment cop. Mick is definitely, he shows up. It's been a while. He started coming back here recently, but we had this guy. His name was Ike. Ike doesn't give a fuck. He hasn't commented in a while, but when he does, he sometimes gets out of his lane, and Mick keeps him in his lane. So, Mick, thank you as always for keeping him in his lane. I don't know where he is tonight, but he's missing one great episode tonight. Ziggler is the profile pic. Oh, they're talking about finding each other on the interwebs. And Dwayne Allen said he's in the vault. Yes, he is. It's all a party now in the vault. We're all in there together throwing down for so many episodes. It is great. The cycle is complete. It absolutely is. And hopefully it won't be the last time, as I hope to get Brandon on here again. And I'm about to figure out how. But all 5 of us are going to have to try to get up on the stream. The last time that I had Brother Hugh, Brian H., and Dwayne Allen all on the stream, my computer that I had at the time, the old one, decided to take a dump. And it completely S-canned during the live stream. And they had to carry on without me for like 90 seconds. They carried it very well. But it was like, I just poof, disappeared. And then they carried it. And I came back on a tablet to finish the show on an iPad. We got through it. But again, that was one of those great times where it kind of showcases everybody's individual talents because we came together. We mother-father and came together as one, and we finished it. And we may have to do it again if the stream decides to take a dump. But we'll do it together, the 5 of us sometime. We just got to find a way to schedule it with everybody out here on the stream.
And I actually have a question for you, sir.
What you got?
So 2 weeks ago, you were on a show on Tuesday night around 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Discussing some stuff, right? At the end of that show, you said you had 97 subscribers, right? So 2 weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a post yesterday that said you had how many subscribers?
Now, over the weekend, it grew even more since that post. It's now up to 1,190.
Okay. Let me sit back a little. That's all I'm gonna say. How did that happen, sir? And congratulations.
Thank you. With talking with some people, I don't know how to sum it up except for, of course we hashtag stuff and we share stuff to different platforms and stuff like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff. And like I was talking to Brian H. about the other day as well through text, and basically saying the only thing I could think of was that somebody of some internet clout, of some social media clout, or somebody that may be a little famous saw a video or something and shared the channel or shared a video, because one video that I had that I did from a couple weeks ago, it was a promo for Total Football Talk, went kind of viral and went up to like 1.2 thousand views all of a sudden. So I think that was what happened. They shared that video, and it kind of garnered some wages into the channel. And I'm telling you, man, I didn't really want to talk too much about it. I don't want to like boast about it because I am proud of it. But at the same time, it's only the beginning. Like, this isn't it. Like, we're going to keep growing out here. I want to do it together, keep having great people like yourself on these shows, and keep building something special, because that's what I'm trying to do out here with SIRTOBA Media. And throughout all that, you asked a question. I even did get a chance to announce this. Welcome to the vault, Brandon. Treat yourself to some Chimkin sandwiches in the corner from 1-800-CHIMPKIN, the commercial that I did back in the day for SIRTOBA. 1-800-CHIMPKIN. Come on down. Get you some. I got to play that commercial at some point. It's like a sports debates ago, but I had some Wise El Jefe and Cole Johnson commercials I wanted to showcase tonight, because we collaborate on a bunch of stuff, and had to take out the Chimpkin Ryan McCarthy, so it didn't survive the cut. But maybe I'll find a way to get it back on in here next week. Hugh Scott with the laughing emoji right there, as we definitely keep trying to bring the shenanigans as things go right there.
He's having to talk about Belts. No, I'm not here. I was very good about Belts today. You should be proud of me.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, because that's how I wrote the show. It was like, I kind of want to incorporate some things, but try to take you out of the element a little bit and talk more about. Yeah, we had a great time with it. Mickey Delaney says, awesome show. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Dante Hill. Hey, I got to tell a quick story about Dante while we still have a minute on here. Dante Hill, back in the day before I kind of moved up in the world a little bit with the outside job of podcasting. Back in the day, I used to work for Geek Squad for about 5.5 years. I was a home theater agent going into people's houses, pimping out their living room is what I like to call it, because I would mount TVs, do all your home audio, do your internet stuff. I took what was a regular house and turned it into a home with your technology, and I still could for the right price. But hey, we're going to talk about that stuff later. Anyways, when it comes to what I did for Dante's house, went in there, mounted a TV in his house. He's a Philly fan. I'm a Washington fan. Usually people out there, what it seems like, people can't get along, but we click pretty well because we have a mutual thing in common. We love football in the NFC East in our teams. He's a great dude. So thank you, Dante, for being here in the stream. I appreciate you and your viewership. And next we have Joseph Raymond, who says, great show, guys, and you will be here next week. Got to give you a quick shout out again for episode 102 right here next week, as Joseph is back next week for 102 with Kyle Nash. Other comments we got. Dwayne Allen, yes, sir. Yes, indefinitely. I know you were definitely hyped for it, and let's do it. We definitely have to try the 5 of us in a stream at some point. We are going to form like Voltron. Yes, Brother Hugh. That's big time fire. Absolutely. And the Jack Daddy himself making an appearance on this show with Super Kick Sampson's 1-800-CHIMPKIN. Yes, the commercial. You know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to that commercial. And I'm glad I got back, Drew, and thank you very much for the warm welcome back on your 4 Eastern show. Yes, because I had Total Football Talk earlier with Cole Johnson. And now for the long-winded one part of the final word. What's up, everybody? It's time for me and the solo camera. Brandon had it for a minute, and now it's my time. And with that being said,
acknowledge me.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Let me talk to you.
All right. So right here at the final word, I want to touch up on some things, and I want to talk about Jade Cargill. I want to talk about her coming to WWE, kind of like how Brandon did. I think that's a big move for the women's division. She definitely got her character over in AEW and definitely can come in with the same type of firepower and can definitely help, NXT, because I guess they might want to put her there to help, showcase her talents, but also help learn the ropes of the WWE way and then make it to the main roster. If she does go to the NXT, she will not be there that long. She will definitely make it to the main roster very early on. And, I don't want to keep you guys too long because we did have a long-winded first part of my final word, but I just wanted to acknowledge you guys and tell you all thank you very much for tuning in and coming back with a bang for this episode 101. Keeping things pretty lit in the comments because I do this show for you guys. If it was not for the entertainment coming to you and you reciprocating how much it's entertaining to you, I wouldn't have much firepower out here with this show. And I love taking care of this show each and every time I come out there, especially with some great people like Brandon, the guy who made it here for this show tonight. And Brandon, I thank you again. I know you extended it to me, but I want to thank you for making the time to be here tonight. Definitely look forward to doing it again with you sometime soon. And we've only got one more thing. Stick around afterwards for a second. We've only got one more thing to look at before we get on out of here. And that is one badass outro for the guy, Brandon Guy. I am Drew Willingham. Everyone stay safe out here in these streets.
SIRTOBA Media, where the struggle is real to be awesome.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get on up out of here. You come on back next week, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, and I'll see you here for episode 102. Y'all be safe out here in these streets.